guys. So today I'm going to show you how to get this summertime makeup routine. It's got full sunscreen and light makeup, and I'm going to show you how to do it right now. Any good summertime makeup routine should start with a good sunscreen, and I use an organic sunblock from Made with Peace and Love. I will leave the link below. It's actually a girlfriend of mine who makes them. She sells them on Etsy, but I'm not getting anything for mentioning her. It's just a product that I love. I also use her face oils, and pretty much anything I use on my face is from her. So I will leave those below, but it is all natural and it's a little bit melty today because it is awful hot today, but you can see how much we use this. We use it a lot. And I actually sent the girls up to Georgia with some of this weekend because it's great on your face. It's great everywhere, but we really like to use it on our faces and it doesn't make us break out. So I have taken a shower. I put my moisturizer on, and for my moisturizer I use the face oil from Made with Peace and Love. I know the label's disgusting because I'm disgusting. It says anti-aging face serum. But what I do is when I get out of the shower, if I know I'm putting sunscreen on, while my face is still wet, I'll put a little bit of the oil on my hands and I'll put it on my face. So that way it's not a heavy application, but I do a full application around my eyes. Okay, so I'm gonna just take sunscreen and I'm gonna cover my face in sunscreen. Okay, looks like that's all rubbed in. I'm gonna wipe my hands down. I'm glad and greasy now. One great thing about this is it doesn't smell at all. It has zero fragrance to it. So yeah, does not smell at all, which is nice because I'm sensitive to smells and I have very, very, very sensitive skin, and this doesn't burn at all. And it does have zinc in it. And if you ever use other sunscreens, a lot of times you can feel it stings on your skin. This doesn't sting at all. It literally just is a barrier. It's a barrier type of sunscreen. Okay, so after I put on my sunscreen, I will put on my primer, and I use the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. I like the green one because it counters the red in my face. I use about that much, and I lay it right over top of my sunscreen. Gives me a nice work surface. Okay, now I use two different Rimmels. I use the 201 and the 101 because they don't make a color that suits my skin. Plus, throughout the year, you know, your skin changes in tanness depending on how long the sun is out. Right now, I am mostly 201, so I'm going to use more of this and less of this, but I wanted more of a sheer coverage. I do not want full coverage in the Florida sun. So I'm going to take some of the 201, just a little bit of the 101, so that much of both, and then to that, excuse me, I am going to add a little bit of my face oil. That may seem counterintuitive to put oil on your face in a Florida summer, but what it does is it thins out the consistency. If you use regular moisturizer, use moisturizer for this. But I don't use a regular moisturizer, I use the oil. So I'll put a couple drops of that in there. I'm just gonna use the back of a brush to start mixing this around. Just a little bit. And then I'll mix it the rest of the way on my sponge. Okay, so I'm just gonna apply my foundation. Okay, and that's all I'm gonna do for that. You can still see some, I don't know, little blemish scar right there. You can still see a lot of my freckles, but I don't want to go too heavy coverage because it's just too hot and it's going to melt right off your face. So something is better than nothing, and I'm perfectly comfortable going out with my skin looking like this. Actually, most days I go out with no makeup, so I'm perfectly comfortable with this amount of coverage. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the clean side of my damp beauty sponge, and then I'm just going to hit over top of some of my more oily areas or areas that I feel I got a little too much makeup on. Like, I always get too much on my upper lip, and my upper lip, you know, it's 100 degrees out there and 100% humidity. So I'm just gonna dab a little of that off. Doesn't really remove much, but you know, just the tiniest amount, but it makes me feel better. Okay, so I'm gonna use my Emotional Brilliance translucent face powder from Lush, but it's hard to get it out of here, so I have an old NYX container, so I just pour some in there. So I'm just gonna get a little bit of this on my face. I'm gonna use a big fluffy brush. A lot of times I will use my damp beauty blender because that way it doesn't go on too caked, but I'm just gonna put a little on at a time, and I'm just gonna shake the brush and get off as much as I can, and then just very lightly lay it over to set that powder, and that way I don't look oily or anything like that, but it's not a full heavy coverage of it either. One thing I want to mention, I'm sure this is common sense to everybody, don't blow on your brushes. Don't on, you know, to get the extra off. I would rather tap it or shake it or something along those lines, because you know, you don't want to blow bacteria directly onto your brush. So next I am going to do some blush. I'm not doing any kind of contour. I'm not doing any kind of concealing. If you need to do concealing, or if you choose to do concealing, of course that's absolutely fine. But for me, I will sweat here and I will sweat here. So if I do a lot of under eye makeup, it's all going to run off. I really keep it as light as possible in the summer. So I'm gonna do one of these blushes that I got from AliExpress. You can see the full details on these in my AliExpress face haul. I will put it right here if you're at all interested in watching that. It has a little puff on the top, and what you do is, as you, I don't know if you can see it, you know, puff out of there, but as you tap it, the product comes out. So this is a very light color, so I'm just going to tap this onto my cheeks. Don't inhale it. Just tap that onto my cheeks just a little bit. Just a little bit of shimmery color, that's all. And then I'm going to take a blush brush, and I'm just going to swirl it and buff it so that it looks nice and it's not just weird little puffs of color. Okay, and that's all I'm doing face-wise. Now move on to the eyes. I'm going to use this this CoverGirl palette in Country Woods, and I'm just going to be using this lightest shade from Brow to Lash. I need to wax my eyebrows so badly. I'm going out of town next week, and I am going to wax my eyebrows before I go. I do them myself because I just do the underside and get all those extra little hairs. If you want to see a video on how I wax my eyebrows, hit the thumbs up button down there, and I will post that when I rip all the hair out of my face. Okay, and then after I do from Brow to Lash, I'm going to use this e.l.f. palette in Purple Party, and I'm going to use this very lightest pink just on my lids. I'm going to use the same brush because it's a nice big fluffy brush. So it's very light, doesn't add a lot of color. But what it does is it adds a little bit of shimmer and it differentiates my lid from the rest of my eye. I'm going to do just the tiniest bit of black eyeliner and just a pencil, not a liquid. And I'm going to go from where my pupil is out on both sides and just on the top. And I got it on my hand, and that's not going to help anybody. Okay, and I'm going to use the angle brush. It's on the other side of my fluffy brush, so I'm going to use the angle brush to kind of smooth it out and lighten it up just a little bit. I used to have a smudgy brush and the little smudgy tip ripped off the brush, and I just haven't bought a new one. So I use that, and then I'll use my fingers just a little bit. And then I'm going to curl my lashes and put on mascara. Okay, so that just accentuates my eyes a little bit without being too heavily done. Okay, and I am going to do something with my brows because my brows are very, especially on this one, the hair stands up and there's a whole little bald spot right there. So I always fill in my eyebrows. I have this eyebrow, I don't know, pencil and brush combo. You screw up the pencil on that side and then you can brush it out with a spoolie on this side. I got this from AliExpress in my eye haul. I'll put that there if you're interested in that. So I don't go outside of my normal shape. I don't like try to create big crazy brows or anything. I just fill in where I'm missing color. Because my brows just tend to be a little sparse where I wish they weren't. So I just put some color on. Then I take the spoolie end and I brush to soften and blend it all together. And then I take a clear mascara from e.l.f. Of course, it's not clear right now because it has makeup in it and that's disgusting, so I don't want to show it to you. But it's a clear and I use it to hold my eyebrows in place. Because especially this side, I get some wayward ones that like to stand straight up. And you know, that's not attractive. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do with the eyes. Next, I am going to do lips. I am going to do a lip stain. And if I feel like I need it, I'm going to put a little bit of pencil over the stain for definition and for longer lasting. And that's about all I'm going to do on my lips. I'm going to put a chapstick in my pocket and I'm just going to touch it up throughout the day if I feel dry at all. And of course, precision is key when doing a stain. So I always dot off the majority of it in the center of my lip, and then I will go along the sides, along the edges, so I have a good line. Gotta let it dry. So an important thing to remember about doing a lip stain, stay in the lines of your lips. Don't try to, you know, with a lot of other eye things that you can do, you can shape your lips so they are perfectly symmetrical on either side, or you can make them look a little plumper. My lips are not perfectly symmetrical. This side goes a little more rounded and this side kind of goes straight down. But if I tried to make this more rounded, it would look even, but it would look ridiculous, because then it looks like I just wiped my mouth as I was trying to do this. If you're gonna have something sheer on, you wanna really stick to the natural lines of your lips. And if you want to kind of create a shape outside of that, use a pencil to do that, and that way you'll have a multitude of textures and then it won't look funny. That's the first. Last thing I'm gonna do is let my hair down and fluff that out. Oh, I need to do my setting spray too. Oh, my hair is still very, very wet. Very, very wet. That's not centered. This is how I part my hair, no lie. I kind of feel for the center of my forehead and then I go like this and kind of pull the hair. Very technical. And then I just kind of fluff it. And how it curls is how it curls, and that's what it looks like. Okay, so I'm gonna set it real quick. I use Breath of Fresh Air toner water from Lush. I know it is not a setting spray, but I use it as a setting spray and it works great. And I like it because it makes me look not too cakey or anything along those lines. It makes it look really fresh and nice and dewy. So I'm going to toss this in my purse and we are going to head out for the day. We are going into Orlando. We're going to go to the Orlando Eye and Madame Tussauds. So keep an eye out for the next vlog and you will see all of that in there. But I just wanted to show you guys my summer makeup. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber yet and you'd like to be, hit that subscribe button and come and join our crazy family. And until next time, thanks for watching. Bye guys.